Thank you, Mr. Storm and band. At this time, please welcome our 2016 student speaker, Mr. Jacob Bloom.
Can you hear me in the back? Yeah? Awesome. Real quick, I'd just like to take a moment of silence for all the graduation caps that were blown away in the wind. They say that in high school, it's supposed to prepare students to embark on possibly the most dangerous, hazardous, strenuous times of their lives, college. However, we're supposed to be graduating, and no number of terrible classroom speeches that I gave could have prepared me for this moment speaking in front of all of you today. So with that in mind, the stadium faculty asked me to point out a couple of the emergency exits. At the rear, there are 2 door exits, one on the left, one on the right, and 2 at the front. And in the event that this speech falls and spirals down into a fiery inferno, your chairs will double as flotation devices. Welcome families, friends, staff, faculty, and most importantly, the class of 2016. So you're all probably wondering why I gathered you here today. It's to celebrate a moment in time that we all can't wait to be done with. Our high school graduation. Now I know we've all been told that in a couple of years, after a few bad credit card payments, some jail time, and maybe a kid or 6, we'll be longing to come back. We'll be longing to come back to the best years of our lives. But as I began to think about it, I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that if standardized testing, having your snacks stolen in math by Mr. Leonard every day, and taking the ACT 3 times is your idea of the best years, you've done something horribly, horribly wrong. Fix yourself. However, I did come to realize that it wouldn't be the years, or the months, or even the days that we would miss. It'd be the moments. Whether these moments only lasted a couple of seconds to ask her out, or what felt like 4 long years of struggling with senioritis. We all look back on those key moments that make up our entire high school experience and say, wow, where did the time go? Remember back to that first day of freshman year? It feels like it was only last week. The first moment stepping into the labyrinth of Park High, the first class, the first test, the first F, the second F, the third F, the figuring out that maybe you were the problem. And although it felt like it was never going to end, before we could even think to go back, the 174 days of freshman year having condensed into a few short moments of anxiety, growing dreams, and some gas from the school's cafeteria food. Coming into sophomore year, we had already grown so much as students. We learned that procrastination and apathy aren't just big words, but also ways of life. And in those moments before the big math final, when we're cramming as much information as we could, preparing to slam it on the test and hope for the best, we were still growing as students. And somehow, we all managed to stumble into junior year. And to be honest, that year was nothing but a blur because the tears in our eyes clouded our vision as we sprinted as hard as we could to senior year. And then finally, we crawled into this year looking at each other as if we had survived a nuclear blast and rejoiced. Except for the full IB AP kids, may you rest in peace. But you see, it's not the years, or the months, or the days that we remember. It's the moments of hardship and joy. Like moments when we heard about the death of Rita Ruiz and Mr. Freegard. The moments when we came together not just as students, but as friends, to remember and celebrate the moments that we had with them. That moment when you open the acceptance letter to the college you've been trying to get into freshman year, I got it, huh? And that awkward moment at prom when you walked in and your eyes immediately gazed upon the most beautiful thing in the room, a chocolate fountain. And of course that moment when you find your 2 lifelong best friends. All of these moments leading up to today, right here, right now. Every year we're asked that question, what would you do and go back and tell yourself? And until this year, I never had anything truly meaningful to say. Yeah, sure, study hard, don't forget to turn in your homeworks, blah, 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 I didn't do it anyway. But after this year, there was something I wish someone would have told me. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. Choose your moment. Life's all about moments. Don't wait for them, create them. Because you never get the same moment twice. And as we leave here tonight, don't forget your moments at Park High School. Celebrate them. Because even though it might not have been some of the best years, it definitely has some pretty awesome moments. Like when 833 had its first snow day in 40 years. So to all of you, go create the moments that are going to define you and have a chemical-free summer 2016.
Thank you, Jacob.